What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 768 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo. Apologies for the delay. I've had a lot of things going on Wednesdays as of late, and that has kind of messed up the schedule a bit. But hey, sometimes you got to LIVIN and start living, baby. And I'm going to recap where I was on Wednesday. That's what this episode is going to be. I know the Phils have been struggling, but it's one of those things that this was a special Wednesday for me because it was something you don't get all the time, and it is a first for me. And I'm going to recap my entire evening at Subaru Park for the first time as a fan of the Philadelphia Union. I went to my first Union game with Harrison. And next episode that Harrison is on, I'm sure he'll recount all of his thoughts and everything on the game as well. But we took in our first Union game together. He had never been. I had never been. It was a really cool experience to bring somebody who has been a big part of this company for many, many years. And us getting to do it together and experiencing something together for the very first time was a lot of fun. So I'm going to recap and just recount everything, discuss the game, the vibes, and genuinely why you should go to a Philadelphia Union game if you have never been. I've been to Subaru Park a number of times in my life for the Premier Lacrosse League, for PLL Championships, for the semifinals, and I'll be there again on September 1st for the semifinal this year. But I'd never been. It's so funny that I have stepped on that field before ever taking in a game as a fan for the Union. And it was genuinely, and I don't even want to undersell this, but it was an 11 out of 10 sporting event experience, and I'm going to get into everything about it. But before I do, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. We're ever so close to 4,000 followers on Twitter. We're ever so close to 2,000 followers on Instagram. We're trying to hit those milestones before the end of the year. So let's make that happen. Follow us on the socials. We're on TikTok as well. We're on Facebook. Keep following us on the socials wherever you consume your social medias. We are on those platforms at Underground PHI across the board. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and on Instagram and Threads at KBIZZLE11. Subscribe to the pod. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping not only this show continue to grow, but it helps every show here at Underground Sports Philadelphia continue to grow. And that genuinely means the world to us because that means we get to continue doing dope stuff with and for you guys and growing this company into something that can become our full-time careers here for everyone that wants to pursue that with this company, whether they want to be full-time, part-time. Our goal is to make this my full-time job, make this DJ's full-time job, make this Stephen McAvoy, Pat Pitts, and a lot of I think I speak for everybody here. We want this to be our full-time job. So when you continue subscribing, it really helps push that forward, and it's free to do. So keep subscribing on Apple and Spotify. And, of course, guys, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, every single week. Full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We are 8 subscribers away from our next 100 subscriber milestone, and I really want to hit 1,500 subscribers before the end of the year. That is a huge goal of mine. I want that to be the case for our YouTube channel. So keep subscribing. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. Click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. It really helps the show just continue to generate and build and grow. So keep subscribing to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city, Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
At the Vineland Municipal Utilities, we understand that when our business community thrives, we all win. As a not-for-profit utility, our reliability, lower cost of operations, and flexibility in meeting customer needs make doing business in Vineland beneficial to your bottom line. What's more, we are able to do so while maintaining our commitment to environmental stewardship. We look forward to helping you achieve your business goals now and for years to come. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like I said here at the top of the show, I went to Subaru Park for the first time for a Philadelphia Union game in my life. It took me nearly 32 years of living, nearly 15 years of the Philadelphia Union existing to get my ass down to Subaru Park and take in a game. And we were talking about it, Harrison and I, when we were at the stadium, because we'll get into the weather delay and such, and we had time to banter and everything. It was our first professional soccer game live ever. Obviously, you guys know if you listen to Top Bins and followed along with my saga, like I just started following Premier League this past season before this season's about to get underway this coming weekend. But I had never been to a Union game. The only professional soccer game I had been to was indoor soccer for the Philadelphia Kicks way back in the day. If you remember the Philadelphia Kicks, you're a real one. And genuinely drop a comment in the comments section. Hashtag KIXX if you remember the Philadelphia Kicks. But it was my first professional soccer game ever. And let me just say, and having been there before, like parking-wise at Subaru Park is super easy. I genuinely love the fact that if you drive a Subaru, you get to park in one of their lots for free. That is the coolest aspect of a sponsorship I think I've ever seen from sports team to sponsor ever. The ease of access of getting to Subaru Park is super, super nice. Parking is super easy. It's not that far of a walk, even if you have to park where I did, down by like the electrical building in Lot C at Subaru Park. If you know, you know. It's really not that far of a walk from there to the stadium. Easy to get into the stadium. I really like Subaru Park as a stadium too. It's a great vibe, really well built, really well like laid out stadium. And we get there and there's a weather delay for about 2 hours. But that didn't stop me from hitting up the team shop, splurged quite a bit in the team shop, got myself my first Union scarf. I know back here you guys can probably see one. I got that at a concert event, and it's not like an official team scarf. It's from a Union like bar crawl that they had. So it's like a co-branded one with Jack Daniel's Slain Irish Whiskey and the Jimador. Nonetheless, very cool, unique Union scarf, but I wanted to get a legit one, and the one I got is the sickest soccer scarf I've ever seen. It's Philadelphia Union. There's a cheesesteak on it. Philadelphia Union is spelled out in Cheese Whiz. And I was like, I don't care how much this is. I have to get it to commemorate my first game. And I think that is one of the coolest aspects of soccer is the scarves. It's a unique, piece of memorabilia that you can get at a game, and it's like having a rally towel, like for just any game out there, because those things get waving at the blink of an eye. So I had to get the scarf. I got myself a shirt with Fang on it. It was on sale, and I was like, this is super dope. I don't have a lot of Union gear. The jersey right here that I'm wearing, if you're watching on YouTube, is the only piece of Union gear I had going into the game. So I got a shirt. I got myself a windbreaker jacket that has like the lightning bolt crackles on it and everything. And then I got a pin because I am a hashtag pinhead when it comes to going to games, events, and everything. If I see a pin, there's a high percentage chance I'm going to get a pin at an event. And I had to get myself a Union pin to commemorate my first game. But the layout for the Union game, not too far off from what it's been when I've been there for the PLL. I think my only discrepancy with the concourse for Union games is just the lack of variety in concessions. There's a lot of repeat spots in Subaru Park for concessions. There's a lot of Chickies and Pete's. There's a lot of PJ Wellhands. Totally understandable. Two very awesome establishments, very good food. But there's a lot of them. There's not a lot of variety that you would see at, say, like Citizens Bank Park. Even at the Wells Fargo Center, I think there's a lot more variety. That would be like my only complaint from just a food and everything standpoint. And then the other big knock for me was just the prices on food. It was kind of jarring to see what the prices were on a lot of things. Guys, we love Ritas. The Ritas at Subaru Park were like a 2/3 price hike on what you would get at a Ritas outside of a stadium. Now, I understand stadium food is going to be more expensive for the most part, unless you're Arthur Blank and you're doing it the right way down in Atlanta. But you're going to have the charge to, have the establishment in your stadium. They also have to get paid. So I understand, like, it's going to be upticked a bit from what you would get outside of the stadium. But some of the prices and, like, the portion size for said prices, my gasps were flabbered. Those would be the only two complaints, really. Were the lack of variety and then the pricing on the said lack of variety of food and drink options. Water bottles being $7.75 for Smart Water is kind of crazy. But nonetheless, everything else about Subaru Park is exquisite. I got the tickets for us on TickPick. Shout out to TickPick. No free shout outs, but I will say this, TickPick, we need to sit down and have ourselves a meeting and figure out how you can become the official ticketing partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia, because damn near everyone at this company uses TickPick as their ticketing app of choice. I want to spread the good word of TickPick to our listeners, to our viewers. Let's strike a deal. And let's make TickPick the official ticketing partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Kyle Zorn, I'm going to tag you in this video and see what we can work out, because I have ideas conjuring in the brain that we can really make some noise in the ticketing game. And, I think our company, with what we do, we need a ticketing partner, and TickPick is truly the top option, in my opinion. And that's not even an ad. I'm doing a free ad right now, pretty much. But TickPick, let's sit down and talk, Kyle Zorn. Let's make that happen. But shout out to TickPick for having these tickets available. Our view was one of the best seats I've ever had for a sporting event across the board. Genuinely, I don't know if I've sat. I think the only place I've sat better would be at Citizens Bank Park when I was damn near on the field. Which at Subaru Park, I was damn near on the field. And it was a second to none experience because you walk through the tunnel that takes you to your seats. We're in section 129, row 5, or row F, I believe it was. And I walk through the tunnel that leads to our section, and I was like, there's no way we're this close. Like, I knew when I purchased the tickets, we were going to be pretty close because I was like, this is too good of a deal to pass up. I'm going to get these tickets to really, like, take in the experience. We were damn near on top of the players. During warm-ups after the delay, we had, like, you could hear everything from the players dribbling the ball to just banter going on the field. We were close enough that during the game, people in our section were chirping one of the New York Red Bull players, and the player could hear and was able to respond, and we could hear the response. Okay? That's how close we were to the field. If you're following us on Twitter, we posted a bunch of highlights throughout the night on Twitter, but before we even continue, like, the vibe at the stadium was just awesome, and it wasn't even like a packed night. I think the weather, like, scared a lot of people off. You know, the delay happened. It's a midweek game. It wasn't MLS play. It was the U.S. Open Cup, and that was really cool too, especially with the result that we ended up getting. It was the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal, but the overall vibe in the stadium was awesome. Everyone around us was super kind, super fun, great energy, great vibes, and the chants that go on at Subaru Park during the games are just unbelievable. Some great energy from the supporter section, and it was a cinematic type game too. But, you know, we get to our seats and everything. Harrison gets there. We get to our seats. The weather delay is over. We were just underneath the overhang enough to not truly get poured on, but with the direction of the rain, we had to kind of shelter in place underneath the concourse there during the delay. There was a lightning delay, and I think a lot of that has to do with the Union Stadium being on the water. But nonetheless, 2-hour delay. We stuck it out. Of course we stuck it out. It's our first game. What? Scared money don't make no money, okay? But the vibe and the energy and the constant just cheering and chanting, like, the energy in that stadium for an in-season tournament game in August, it had moments where I was like, this is the type of energy that 45,000 plus have at Citizens Bank Park during Red October. And it wasn't necessarily Red October level of loud or energy or even close to, like, packed like that, but the vibes and the exuberance when the Union scored and the jubilation that was on display was near that tier, okay? It was a sight to behold. We had some characters in our section, I'll tell you that much. It was it's a night I won't forget for a very long time. Like, you as the old adage goes, you always remember your first. I will certainly remember my first Union game. I am definitely attempting to go to at least one more game this season for MLS play. I'm trying to go to that last game of the regular season against NYCFC. But especially the energy in the stadium where this game had been postponed prior. Like, that game was supposed to happen a month ago, and it got rained out. Then you have the weather delay, and you don't know how the players are going to respond. You know, it's a long layoff of a 2-hour delay. You didn't even warm up. You're expecting to play at 7:30. You don't get out to warm up until about like 9 o'clock, and your game doesn't kick off until 9:35. It was a long night for those guys, and it's you want to see the energy, you want to see the fight, and New York scored first in the game. Kudos to them, but the Union answered right back 5 minutes later, and then late in the game, New York scores. 3 minutes later, Milana Lasky. Let me tell you guys, that's my tip of the cap here. here at the 1916 mark. Milan Olaski, you get the tip of the cap from 47, our awesome partners over at 47. Guys, there's no better way to rep your favorite sports team. I need MLS to get a deal done with 47, okay? I'm wearing the City Connect hat. This bad boy is wool, and it's got the shiny under brim and everything. I love this bad boy. This was a Citizens Bank Park find last season, but we need MLS to get on board with 47. That needs to be done ASAP, no Rocky, because 47 are truly the best headwear in the game, the best apparel in the game for your favorite sports teams, from Major League Baseball to the NFL to the NBA to the NHL, college sports, minor league baseball, you name it. 47 has got you covered. Their new contemporary basics for NFL and NCAA teams are out now. They also obviously have the Bryce Harper Carhartt collaboration going on for all of their MLB teams with the Carhartt collaboration.
So what we getting done today?
The usual.
My mama told me before I left my town. My mama told me
Perfect.
I'm going home.
Gear up for football season. Football season is right around the corner. Gear up for the Birds, baby. The Birds are back. The Super Bowl champions. Use our link in the description. Shop with our friends at 47 and get free shipping when you join the 47 family. Sign up, make an account. It's free to do. And when you create an account, you earn points for every purchase you make, which racks up points from those purchases, which can go towards free merchandise. So join the 47 family, get free shipping on all orders when you use our link in the description to shop with 47, and we thank them for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Milan Olaski, man, this guy is next level. Brand new player for the Philadelphia Union. He comes in and scores his first goal in a Union jersey. Was brought in not that long ago, okay? He was August 5th, so about a week, 2 weeks ago, signed a permanent deal with the Philadelphia Union until 2027. This dude is born to play in Philadelphia. The charisma, the swagger, the confidence, and the skill that he put on display are just next level. And this guy, I couldn't be more thrilled that the Union were able to acquire him from San Diego FC and from Nord-Jylland. It's a steal, man. This guy is he's built to play in Philadelphia. Like, his goal scoring ability, I think, is only going to go up. He made 14 appearances this year with San Diego FC on loan, scored 10 goals. 10 goals in 14 appearances. That, to me, is pretty damn good. And, I mean, his chemistry with Ty Baribo, who is our golden boy this year, who scored the first goal of this game too, looks already off the charts. I think he fits Bradley Carnell's system extremely well. And Milan Olaski, like, if you don't know the name, you're about to find out, because this dude is going to be a certified weapon for the Philadelphia Union for at least the next 2 seasons. Okay? Signed through 2027, through the rest of this year. He said he's here to win. He hits the Jordan shrug as soon as he scores. He is awesome. I love this dude. His swagger and arrogance is off the charts. He's got the aura to play in Philadelphia. And I was the skill popped off the page in person. Okay, Milan Olaski, you are the man. Okay, I'm thrilled he's a member of the Philadelphia Union. But he ties the game up 3 minutes after New York takes the lead, and then late in the game, the Philadelphia Union seal the deal in the 89th minute, and it was absolute scenes, okay? It was absolute scenes when the Union were able to go out and win this game. Like, the stadium went crazy, and rightfully so. You know, you have a player in Macania who not really known for his goal-scoring prowess. He's not a guy that's going to be the type of guy who scores for you. But he was there. He made the play. And you need those type of players to step up, especially in-season competition like the U.S. Open Cup. And Macania comes in, scores in the 89th minute. And that's the thing, too. You know, Carmona scored for New York in the 8th minute. Ty Baribo scored in the 13th minute. Choupo-Moting scored in the 71st minute. Milan Alosky scores in the 74th minute. And then Macania scores in the 89th minute. And the place erupted. Harrison and I are on top of each other, like banging on each other's chests, losing our minds. Smoke flares going from the Sons of Ben section. We're chanting back to the New York Red Bulls section, go back to New Jersey, which felt a little icky to me. I was trying to remix it to go back to North Jersey, being a South Jersey resident myself. But I did chirp back at them and say, I pay taxes on your stadium, so you're welcome. And it was unbelievable. And, you know, the energy in the stadium, the camaraderie from, you know, the respective fans around us and throughout the stadium. It was a sports atmosphere that I had never experienced before in my life, quite literally. But it's something that I think I'll be chasing that high for quite some time. I think, you know, the way that I've really, like, dug back into my soccer roots. You know, if you know me personally, like, I played soccer growing up from the time I was 4 until 8th grade, and then I picked it back up again my sophomore year of high school, and then I hung up the boots to focus on swimming my upperclassmen years of high school. But I grew up playing soccer, and, you know, in middle school I was, not to toot my own horn, I was pretty damn good. I was the striker on our team, and soccer was very fun to me, and I just never got into it from a professional standpoint. And I think a lot of that was because, you know, the professional stuff was in Europe, and I never knew how to watch it growing up. And who knows if I would be a Brighton fan now if I found, you know, soccer back then. And, you know, everything happens for a reason. But I've always followed along with the Union, and, like, I've been dedicated watching the Union probably since, like, 2019, 2018 maybe even, like, since we've started the pod. I've kept a close eye on the Union just to see what they're doing, and obviously, you know, 2020 they win the Supporters Shield. 2022 they go to the MLS Cup final, and it's one of those things that I never had an opportunity to go, and I pulled the trigger and I said, let's make this happen. And to take in a U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal win for this team against a heated rival who we do not like, okay, on our home turf was electric. It was an unbelievable experience. Everyone was super nice, too. You know, the staff at the stadium, everyone I interacted with, super nice, super kind. And, like, Harrison and I were sitting in our seats, like, contemplating getting company, like, partial season tickets for the Philadelphia Union because we were that enthralled by the product, by the atmosphere, by everything. Like, I genuinely, like, I feel so silly having not been to a Union game prior to Wednesday. It blows my mind that it took me this long. But maybe that had to happen for me to fully appreciate what I experienced on Wednesday. You know, it's one of those things that you never know what to expect, and being able to go to Subaru Park and take in the atmosphere, the vibe, the people, and the product on the field was second to none. And, like, you guys know me. Red October, Phillies games, I will lose my voice. Anytime I've been to an Eagles game, I lose my voice. I get real raspy, okay? Sixers game, I don't know. I may have lost my voice the one playoff game I went to way back in the day. Flyers game, not sure I've ever lost my voice. They've also never won when I've been there, so there hasn't been much to lose my voice about per se. And then Philadelphia Wings and Water Dogs, I'm in the press box. You know, I'm not actively hooting and hollering, if you will, but I am, you know, deep down wanting those teams to succeed and be good because it's good for business and it's fun to talk about and introduce you guys to new, Philly sports teams to root for. But I think the Union are one of those teams that they have enough social currency now that, you know, they have diehard fans. They are a team that we have really, like, tried to hone in and hunker down on covering on this podcast for a number of years now because they don't get enough love and support that they deserve. They have all-world talent, unbelievable stadium vibes, incredible fans, obviously. And if you haven't been to a Philadelphia Union game, I genuinely encourage you to make that change. Change that about yourself as soon as possible because the experience is second to none. You will be enthralled by the product, by the atmosphere, by the people around you, and it is truly an all-world sporting event experience. I kid you not when I say it was an 11 out of 10 experience because I can't stop thinking about the game. I can't stop thinking about Wednesday and just the fun and how entertained I was and how everyone always the age-old adage is, you know, the old trope about soccer is that it's boring. It's a lot of running back and forth. There's not a lot of scoring. Sure. But if you just pay attention to the athleticism, you pay attention to the skill that these guys possess, and then it pays off and you get a game like this, 3-2 in the final minute of full time, of regular time, in a cup court like this. This was to punch a ticket to go to a semifinal, to then hopefully go to a final, to win another trophy. And it was absolute scenes. And I just wish the stadium would have been more packed. I wish there would have been more people there. I wish it wouldn't have been, you know, a weather delay so that more people would have been there. But, I mean, there's genuinely no bad seat in Subaru Park. Every spot in that stadium is a perfect view. And, I mean, you know, you have your preference of where you want to sit and take in a game, but holy moly, that stadium is flawless for having an incredible view of the product on the field. And, I mean, just a huge credit to everyone at the Philadelphia Union, you know, game day staff, everyone in the shop, everyone at the concessions, and obviously to the players, a tip of the cap to them, because it was an all-world experience, and I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to take in my next Union game. You know, I've been waiting to see what the partial season ticket prices are and seeing if I can budget that in so that we can have that and bring people in, whether it's, you know, people we want, you know, to get on board with us as advertisers or, you know, new, you know, talent, whatever it may be, or just bring somebody that's never been to a Union game and get them entrenched in the culture of the Philadelphia Union for the first time. It is a second-to-none experience, and I genuinely cannot recommend it enough. That if you have not been to a Philadelphia Union game, hit my line. Let's go to a game. You know, it's truly one of those things that, like, I don't know when I will stop thinking about this game and the experience that I had. And maybe I'm appreciating it that much more because I'm older. You know, when it comes to the Phillies, the Eagles, the Flyers, the Sixers, I was young for the most part, you know, taking in my first games. I was I was super young for the Phillies. I was going to Phillies games when I was super young. My first Eagles game, I was in like 7th grade, 7th or 8th grade. My first Flyers game, middle school or high school. Same with the Sixers. May have been a little bit earlier for the Sixers. I'm not sure. But, I was younger, and it's a different experience. And then with the Philadelphia Wings, like I'm there as media and taking it in from a different POV, and same thing with the PLL and covering the league there and taking things in from a different vantage point. Being able to experience being a fan for the first time in person in my early 30s for a sports team that I followed for pretty much their entire existence is really, really cool, really, really special, and I think it's going to stick with me for quite some time, and I hope I don't ever lose this feeling, because, like, it's genuinely, like, taken me from the above casual fan. I pay attention. I know guys on the team. I'm watching games when I have an opportunity to. So I'm a bit more than just casual and catching them when the playoffs are on or something like that, or just following along on social media. I'm really entrenched with the Philadelphia Union now, simply by taking in the product in person. It really took my fandom to a whole new level, and I don't know if I've ever experienced that, simply because the other major 4 sports, it was kind of built into me to be a fan of them. Like, my parents were fans of all of those teams, and it's passed down. That is, your family sports lineage. But the Union, it was never a big deal in my house, but I followed along and knew they existed when I was younger, and wanted them to succeed. And now, to experience that, my fandom for the Union has elevated 100x, and it was already pretty high, but now I'm so in on this team. I'm so in on this organization. It's a one of a kind experience, and genuinely, if any of my friends are listening, any listeners that I know on a personal level are listening and have never been to a game, let's go to a fucking game, because going into next year, there's not that many games left at home for the Union this year, so it wouldn't really be feasible. But 2026, I want to do live Underground Sports Philadelphia from what we did at Jetro a couple years ago. I want to do that from a Union game. I want to tailgate in the lots, do a live pod, go in and watch the Union steamroll a team, and have some fun. That's something I really want to do, and on top of that, it would be feasible with our awesome pals over at Biñho. Imagine pulling up to a Union game, and there's a live podcast going on in the parking lot. There's Biñho boards out. Everybody's flicking their tails off. It would be absolute scenes, because Biñho is truly the best in the game. Got them right here, my brand new Biñho hat from Biñho. Shout out to them. It's paper football meets foosball, guys, and it's truly the coolest tabletop flicking experience. They have officially licensed Philadelphia Union boards as well, so you can check those out. You can check out all their boards, accessories, and more by using our link in the description. And when you fill up your cart, shop with our friends at Biñho. Use code Biñho Bennett 62 at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your entire order from our friends at Biñho. Again, that's using our link in the description to shop, and code Biñho Bennett 62 at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your next order from our awesome pals over at Biñho. I really want to do that, though. So if there's anybody out there listening that would know who to connect me with the Philadelphia Union, so we can make that happen, let's cook, let's work. I would love to make that happen, man. Have the boy Dylan Philaticus out there cooking some stuff up at the Union game like he always does in MLOT. We could make some moves out there down at the Sub. But genuinely, shout out to the Union. What a win. And I am going to talk about this game. I'm going to talk about that experience to anybody that will listen. because it was so much fun, and I don't know if I'll ever be over the experience, and I hope that's the case. That's what being a fan is all about. And I can't wait to be back at my next game. Like, when I walk in the doors to go cover the PLL semifinals on September 1st on Labor Day, I'm going to be thinking about that game too. I'm going to be thinking about, wow, I was sitting down there where these fans are now taking in a lacrosse game. I was sitting down there and taking in my very first Philadelphia Union game. Like, that was a time, that was an experience. It's amazing to have that feeling. And to know, like, my ability to have fandom, like, I knew it was possible when I got into the Premier League and started covering, you know, who I wanted to pick as a team and doing my homework there. And now I'm fully entrenched in Brighton and Hove Albion culture and following along with the team and, you know, living and dying with every single match day. But to have that now stateside with a team in my backyard with the Philadelphia Union, like, I am, like, my fandom senses are heightened a bunch now, and I can't wait to take in their game. Their game's upcoming on the schedule. I can't wait for the playoffs, and I'm going to try my damnedest to be in the building for a home playoff game. That's for fucking sure, because I know it will be absolute scenes, and it's going to be an incredible run for this team. They are so talented. Andre Blake is that guy. Milan Olaski is my dude. If he wants to come on this show, please, Milan Olaski, come on the podcast challenge. Let's make that happen. But shout out to the Philadelphia Union. What a game, what a team, and what an experience. And my Union breakdown there brought to you by our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, there's no better way to stand out in the crowd, whether you're going to Subaru Park for a Union game, hanging out at home, going to the bar to catch, the Phils, the Eagles, the Union, the Flyers, the Sixers, or you want to rep your favorite Philly sports podcast, PHI Apparel Company is the place to do it. Use the link in the description or go to phiapparel.co and use code UNDERGROUND at checkout for 10% off your next merch order. Again, that's phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order, and stand out in the crowd with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is all I've got for you guys on this one. I know a bit of a different episode, simply because there's never really an opportunity like this until the WNBA rolls around, and I take in my first WNBA game in Philadelphia 5 years from now. God damn, I'm going to be old. But I hope you guys listen to this. I hope you get, like, my excitement and exuberance comes across from this, because I genuinely, like, had the time of my life at Subaru Park for that Union game. And it's something that Harrison and I will be locked in for the rest of our lives, because we experienced it together, and it was a ton of fun. So shout out to the Philadelphia Union. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. Let me know if this podcast made you, like, get convinced to go to a Union game if you've never been, because that would be awesome. You can also subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. Keep subscribing, guys. We're ever so close to our next subscriber milestone, so keep pushing that subscribe button, smash that bad boy, leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland, and whether you are a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you are considering Potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100, Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 768. You'll always remember your first edition as I recap my first Philadelphia Union game day experience of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. I'll catch you guys on Monday, breaking down the Phils, what's going on with them, some Eagle stuff, as another preseason game will be in the books by the time we record next, and whatever the hell else comes across the dog, and probably talk some Union as well, because, hey, that's what we do. And it's Water Dogs playoff week coming up, so a whole lot to talk about and more. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I am signing off, everybody. DOOP, and peace.